Celtic, I mean, I had a little look at the league table today, from last year today. Celtic dropped 23 points in 38 games, right? So less than a point a game. Don't give Celtic a start. Rangers have just given Celtic a start, so every Rangers fan, and maybe others will be thinking, hoping that St Mirren can do something today. But Celtic have got the one job. They've come on, they've had all those celebrations there, and everyone's having a nice, lovely day and a sunny day. They can't go anything other than 100% here, because St Mirren are going to be a tough nut to crack. So I'm really intrigued to see how they do start this one today.
Well, the sunny day means that there is plenty of green and white on display. Some heavy-looking grey clouds above Celtic Park, but half the pitch is still in sunlight. And that vibrant green and white hoop shirt of Celtic on display, not on the pitch, not only on the pitch, but also on display in the stands as well. There is an air of familiarity about this Celtic team, even with one of the debutants in the squad. But as mentioned, we are going to pay respects to two Celtic legends that have sadly passed away over the summer. Two of their Lisbon Lions squad, the 1967 European Cup winning squad, sadly passed away. John Clark and John Fallon, who will be remembered here ahead of kick-off. Both teams lining up on the edge of the centre circle, and a minute's applause expected.
Only substitute in the heat of Lisbon, where he and his teammates entered into the football history books. When his playing days were over, John continued to follow Celtic home and away. Both men's legacies will live forever. We will now have a moment's applause in honour of two great sailors, John Clark and John Fallon.
All sides of this great Celtic Park stadium on its feet to applaud two legends of Celtic's history. The reason there's a lone star on the Celtic club shirt and on the main entrance to the ground is because of people like John Clark and John Fallon winning that 1967 European Cup, the Lisbon Lions as they are known and remembered fondly this afternoon. So the Celtic team with that familiarity, one debutant in the squad, and Kieran Tierney returns for a second spell at the club. The full official Celtic debut goes for Benjamin Nygren, the £2 million signing from Nordjylland in Denmark. Celtic in those green and white hoop shirts, the white shorts and white socks will be left to right, but it'll be St Mirren in a moment in their full black away strip with a little bit of pink piping on it to get us underway. First commentary of the brand new season on BBC Radio 5 Live comes from the home of the Scottish champions. St Mirren, steadiness and popularity in their manager is Stephen Robinson. Top 6 finishes in each of the last 3 years. What can they now do in the brand new campaign?
It'll be intriguing. You said in the build-up there, I think it was a guess, but it's probably more than a guess, that they go into a back five as soon as they lost the ball. That's exactly what was happening to St Mirren, and they'll just have to stay tight and hope they can play on the break. Very noticeable, first thing they did, smashed the ball up long to Mandron up front, who won the header against Carter Vickers, so that'll give him a little bit of a lift.
Keep an eye on that. With Celtic on the far side, they're left to right in these opening 45 minutes. Attacking the Lisbon Lions stand off Celtic Park in Kasper Schmeichel and Cameron Carter-Vickers have got to be careful here. Schmeichel clears it away towards the halfway line. The vision on goal. Schmeichel out of the penalty area, wasn't quite fully there, but now it allows St Mirren to attack down the far right-hand side of theirs. Jaden Richardson, one of their 3 debutants today, attacking the left-back position where Kieran Tierney has the cover and sees it clear back up towards the halfway line.
Extraordinary covering once again from Dazen Maeda back there alongside Kieran Tierney. Maeda is ridiculous. I mean, you always watch him and you think how many are on the field, usually 2 or 3. He is everywhere, and he started this season and he ended last.
Right start from St Mirren, out on the right hand side, trying to slide it on through for Roland Iduwu on the right corner of the penalty area. St Mirren in that black kit, right to left in this opening 45 minutes. Schmeichel in goal for Celtic then, with the ball out for a throw on the far side. Johnston, Carter-Vickers, Scales and Tierney their back four. Negrin, McGregor and Hitate the midfield. Yang, Ida and Deza Maeda up front. St Mirren attacking on the right of the penalty area. The pullback will be there. Easy one to gather. It is near post for Kasper Schmeichel, who instantly rolls it underarm out of his penalty area, trying to set Celtic on their way despite the bright start from the visitors. Brendan Rodgers' arms folded at the minute in his grey suit, the Celtic manager. Stephen Robinson's got his tracksuit on and his grey top. Celtic playing out towards the far left-hand side. Maeda plays it back in towards the middle as it's scooped up over the top. Celtic into the penalty area. It is behind for a goal kick, which allows us to go to the cricket. Final day of the fifth test, Ellie.
And we're underway again after tea. England 318 for 4, 56 more needed to win. Joe Root is on 99, Jacob Bethel is on 1. England can just play it steady and then secure a 3-1 series win and the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy, unless we get a big twist in the tail.
Ellie, thank you. We'll be back regularly to Edgbaston throughout the afternoon here on BBC Radio 5 Live. 0-0 between Celtic and St Mirren. Long ball pumped forward by St Mirren. And Celtic should be able to chase that down and again clear it long up towards the halfway line themselves. Let's go to the golf, get a check-in on the Women's Open. Cat Downs.
Back-to-back birdies for the Japanese leader Miyu Yamashita on 8 and 9. She goes to the turn in 33 and she's opened up a 3-shot lead at the top of the leaderboard ahead of England's Charlie Hull, who's just tapped in for a second par of her back 9 on the 11th. But she's 3 behind with 7 to play. Needs to get things going if she's to claim her maiden major title.
Thanks, Kat. We'll keep you updated on that as well. St Mirren on the halfway line to the right of the centre circle. Play it looking for the pace. Lowell on the ground of Idowu, who is going to give the chase, but loses out. And then as St Mirren go forward, Celtic, certainly their fans wanted them to do the same, Pat Nevin, but they were halted with a little bit of hold-up play.
Like yourself, I'm quite impressed with the way St Mirren have started. Not completely open, but when they do get the ball and they do break, they try to be A, at pace, and B, with numbers. And it's looked quite dangerous. Final ball hasn't been good enough yet, but they've looked quite dangerous in the breaks.
Yang into the middle, uses Hitate, plays it out to the left-hand side. Low-driven effort, well wide of the right-hand post in the end. Behind it goes for a goal kick. 0-0 on BBC Radio 5 Live into the 5th minute of the game here at Celtic Park. Chance to go now for the St Mirren team with Shamal George in goal. His debut today for the club. He's on loan from Wickham. Gogic, King and Fraser, their back 3. Richardson, Phillips, O'Hara and Taylor in the midfield. Then John and Idowu either side of Mikhail Mandron up front. Their tall, lanky figure who was well offside as Shamal George played that long goal kick up away from our right hand side towards Mandron to our left. Brought back under control. Celtic in possession, moving out towards the far side. 0-0 the score. Played back to the goalkeeper, Kasper Schmeichel, who scored the own goal in the Scottish Cup final in the final game of the season for Celtic last season, losing eventually on penalties as a result of that own goal, which levelled the tie up. Aberdeen then took the spoils, denying Celtic that domestic treble.
Yeah, and a huge shock to a lot of people, maybe even Aberdeen fans as well. But a lot of people within Scottish football, they like to see it being shared about, and Celtic not winning everything all the time, although not many people in here agree with that.
Yeah, say it quietly round here. Yang needs it for Hitate. Mr. Johnson's peeled away on the right hand side, low ball in. The stretch was there, but the connection not quite from Adam Ida. And behind it goes for a goal kick. It was his touch last, but nowhere near the goal.
Well, he gets in the near post, but when you're playing with a back 3, you often have to get beyond those 3 players. So no space there to get into. He's made the right run, Ida, but not able to get in front of the defender there. Interesting watching St Mirren there. The most important player for them probably at the moment is Idowu, and he's playing in this unusual position just behind the striker. And you think, yeah, he'll run beyond the striker now and again, but do you know what? A bigger part of his job, stay on Callum McGregor every single moment when he's got the ball. If he can stop Callum McGregor, it's a big part of stopping Celtic.
32-year-old Celtic captain Callum McGregor turned 32 in the summer. He's Negrin, the new signing for Celtic. Some fans want a few more names through the door for the home side heading into the new season, but there is an air that perhaps some of it depends on whether Celtic qualify for the Champions League or
Yeah,
not.
it's the old chicken and egg situation there, isn't it? If you don't spend the money to make sure you get through that qualifying round, you could lose a huge amount of money. And Celtic, have done well. They got a lot of money for Nicholas Cooden, who they sold, and they made a lot of money out of last year's Champions League run, because they had a very good run in that as well. So I can see why Brendan Rodgers is hinting at more.
And nearly qualified for the knockout stages, Celtic last season, who are on the attack now down the far left-hand side. It's Dazen Maeda back infield towards the left corner of the penalty area. St Mirren pile the numbers back as Celtic use Maeda again and spread the play now into the centre. It's lifted over the top, lovely ball looking for Maeda, who'd come back inside from the far left. It runs behind for a goal kick, a little too far for his little legs, stays in Maeda, but again the right intention from Celtic.
Now Maeda, he plays in the left wing for Celtic, left attacking position, but he's all over the field. When we talk about his running power is extraordinary. I mean, like very few players I've ever known. But he has to develop an understanding on that left-hand side with Kieran Tierney over there. Now, if they do develop a good understanding, which I have a suspicion they are going to, they'll be bordering on unstoppable in Scottish, not only Scottish football, but European as well.
Important milestone reached in the cricket at the Oval, Ellie.
Yes, Joe Root's century, 137 balls with 12 fours, and he has done it again, and he has helped to take England to within 49 runs of victory, 325 for four. Took his helmet off and revealed he was wearing the white headband commemorating the great Graham Thorpe, whose 56th birthday it would have been this week, and whose loss we mourned a couple of days ago. But Roots kept the headband, and he looked up to the heavens and thought about that great legend of English cricket.
Lovely touch from Joe Root. Ellie, thank you. We're back at the Oval regularly, and the ball just breaks free here for Celtic, and Eda's trying to get in round the back of a little bit of a scrambling defence. Goalkeeper made the call, Shamal George, to come off his line, dive low, gather the ball. He's taken a knock off Eda in the process of that, but more importantly for St Mirren, putting his body on the line and preventing the opening goal. 0-0.
It was one of those ones where every single striker on the planet will say, that's there to be won, that's where to be hit. I'm not sure it was. I think the keeper had that one. Eda sticks his foot in there, and that he's really hit the goalkeeper badly there. They will have a look at that in VAR, because when the keeper's in a horrible position there, because you can't protect yourself in any way whatsoever. You have to go for the ball, whereas the studs are flying in. It'll probably be fine, but that was an ugly one for the goalkeeper to take.
Yeah, Eda was never favourite for that. He was scrambling all over the back of the St Mirren defender, who was trying to shield the ball as George came off his line. George just slowly starting to sit up. What that does allow is players to come over to this near side. Stephen Robinson, almost halfway down the touchline, is just having a word with Richard King in his debut for St Mirren. We can go to the Alexander Stadium, the UK Championships, the men's 1500 metres, and get an update from Katie Smith.
Yeah, the final event of these champs, and tickets secured to the World Championships in Tokyo for Neil Gourlay and Elliot Giles, top two in that men's 1500 metres. What a sprint finish, right to the line, with Gourlay pipping Giles pretty much on that finishing line. In the women's 1500 metres as well, former Olympic champion Laura Muir is also on the plane to Tokyo with a second place finish, a kick from her in the final stages. Sarah Calvert, though, taking the win ahead of the likes of Katie Snowdon and Reve Walcott-Nolan. So those two will have to wait for confirmation. Alison Kerbishley alongside me. It's so complex when athletes who don't have the qualifying times start throwing in results like that and mixing it up.
I think, it was a real example of each of them beating each other up in the warm-up, and they all let Max Bergen get into their head, because they all knew what he was going to do. He came out, he ran sub 50 seconds for the first lap. He knew that he just had to stay out of trouble, and no one was going to try and take that race on. And it was the two guys that meant something to them. They really wanted to make a point here. A shame to see Ben Patterson, but I just don't think he's in the shape. So I'd be very surprised if they select him, because there's guys there that are capable of running quicker than Ben this season.
So what a 2 days of racing we've had here in Birmingham, Mike, and plenty of those big names that you might have heard of on the British team, the likes of Lurimer, Zarnell Hughes, Dina Asher-Smith, have booked their spots at the World Championships next month.
Katie, Alison, thank you very much. We're live at Celtic Park, where it's currently 0-0 between Celtic and St Mirren. That's a ball that was played long in from the left-hand side to the edge of the St Mirren penalty area away to our right. Nearly controlled over the shoulder of Adam Eder. Before that, St Mirren were enjoying a little bit of possession, but their goalkeeper Shamal George rushed to clear it long, and that just handed it back to Celtic. 0-0 the score. Down goes Hitate, and that gives Celtic a free kick. 10 yards outside the St Mirren penalty area on the right corner of it.
Yeah, just before we went to the Athletics, we were talking about goalkeeper Shamal George getting injured there. He's okay, and by the way, welcome to Scottish football. But Eder, that's actually two really strong challenges he's made. And there's a real question mark last season about Eder. Was he putting the effort in? Was it physical enough? Well, at the start of the game, the first thing he did is he leathered into Fraser to say, here I am, I'm the big centre forward, you're going to have to deal with me. And then he's roughed up the keeper as well. I'll tell you what, Celtic fans won't be disappointed with that.
13 goals in 35 Premiership appearances last season for Adam Eder, former Norwich City man, as King just sees it back to Shamal George. Bright yellow gloves on the goalkeeper of St Mirren this afternoon in his lavishly red kit. Shirts and shorts and socks to match. Celtic inside the centre circle did lose possession, but unfairly so, according to the referee Don Robinson. So have a free kick, which they take quickly, play out towards that far left-hand side of theirs, with Maeda, who just cuts it back towards the halfway line. The far side of the Celtic Park, bottom tier, certainly shrouded in sunshine. A warm afternoon in Glasgow, as Tate plays it forward, and Celtic try and cleverly play their way into the St Mirren penalty area. In the end, they have to go and pull out towards the left-hand side, twisting one way, then the other. That's a lovely turn, and he's got round the right back, sends the ball in, the header's down, straight at Shamal George from Adam Eder. Got towards the near post, got towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but a downward header.
And that's exactly what Celtic fans want to see from Kieran Tierney, playing like a winger even though he's a left back.
Let's get an update from the golf, see how Charlie Hull's getting on. Cat Downs.
Fourth birdie of the day for England's Charlie Hull. She's back to within 2 of the lead of Japan's Miyu Yamashita, though the Japanese leader has just put one very close at the par 4 11th, so has a good birdie look to come to re-establish her 3-shot lead. But Hull playing well as she heads to the 13th tee. She's heading into the most treacherous, most difficult part of the course here at Royal Porthcawl, but she's still in with a chance of landing her first major title.
Kat, thank you. So it could be a dramatic finish at the Women's Open. Heard about the drama in the athletics. We had drama in the F1 earlier, the Hungarian Grand Prix, narrowly won by Lando Norris, and you can get the full dust down of that on the Checkered Flag podcast this evening on BBC Sounds. How much drama are you expecting here this afternoon, Pat Neville?
Yeah, it's not really lit up for Celtic yet. They've created one or two little half chances. They've controlled the vast majority of the game, but you know, getting to the byline a couple of times, but nothing extra special yet. St Mirren will be delighted they've got past 15 minutes now with not too much trouble.
Yeah, the quarter of an hour mark just ticks over. It is 0-0 between Celtic and St Mirren on the opening weekend of the Scottish Premiership. Rangers dropping points yesterday against Motherwell, Falkirk earlier today, getting a 2-2 draw on their return back to the Premiership, back-to-back promotions. They drew 2-2 at home to Dundee United, who are one of the sides expected to be in that top 6 mix. Here's Yang in from the near right-hand side of Celtic, bright pink boots on his feet, and it's slid down the middle again, looking for Eder. They're trying to do that at every opportunity. He's trying to drop his shoulder and turn around the defence of St Mirren, but he can't for now. A pause in the attack, but Celtic will come again through Yang, just flicks it away from Callum McGregor, the captain. Needs Liam Scales, the defender, to step in midway inside the St Mirren half. Now out on the left-hand side, ball switched in towards Eder. His header over the bar, the flag goes up for offside anyway, wouldn't have counted. But again, he's lurking in the right positions, Adam Eder.
Well, he's lurking in the right positions, but he must be thinking, this is my birthday all over again. He's got Kieran Tierney out there, getting the ball time and again, and he's just whipping it into the perfect areas time and again. And the fact, I said right at the start there, if Maeda on the left-hand side and Kieran Tierney can get an understanding working together, they'll be unstoppable. Right, well, we'll take the kind of tense and we'll change that. They are already unstoppable in this game, and they will create more and more chances this afternoon and as the season goes on, if both of them can stay fit.
It might not have had a goal yet, certainly not deterred the Ultras in the north-east corner from where we're sat at the moment on that bottom tier, bouncing around, the arms clapping above their heads at the moment. Here, St Mirren though in possession on the halfway line, left of the centre circle, with Richard King, the Jamaican, who is new to the club, scored in the 8-2 League Cup win over Annan Athletic. Competitive games already for St Mirren this season. They're in the group stage of the League Cup, they've won their group. Celtic join in the later rounds with that European qualification to come. St Mirren out on the right hand side, have Jayden Richardson crossing a ball into an empty penalty area, and nobody in a black shirt latching onto the end of it. It runs towards this near side, Celtic's right back position, and the home side back in possession. A little bit of pressure on Kasper Schmeichel, chased down by Mikael Mandron, and Celtic able to get it away down the far side. Now Eder couldn't get the ball out of his feet, and from a possible opportunity to turn and face the St Mirren half, he stumbled on top of the ball and the momentum was quickly lost. He has won a free kick, but that's not the attack that Celtic wanted. They've played the free kick quickly though, and here's a chance for Maeda, who's round Shamal George, puts the ball right across the 6-yard box from the left-hand side, and a clever bit of defending has meant that the ball just runs straight across, doesn't find another green and white shirt, and St Mirren survive, but that's Celtic's best chance so far.
Super intelligent, quick free kick there. Don't wait for the referee, get it down, player, and you may get away with it. Celtic did there, it was borderline offside, but Maeda, if he's got half a yard and there's any space in front of him, he will get there. Did everything right. I think there was some brilliant defending in the middle there though. The expectation was the defender was going to try and clear it. Had he tried, I would say there was a 90% chance to put it on his own net. He took a chance to leave it. He was lucky. It went to no danger at all.
Yeah, little jump over the ball from Richard King. It was important, it was clever, showed a lot of awareness there, and as Pat says, probably actually prevents the ball going in the back of the St Mirren net. So it's still 0-0. Played 19 minutes on BBC Radio 5 Live. Celtic in possession once again on that far side as they look to attack, but they just bring the ball infield for now, choosing to keep the possession. Be patient. Scales out towards the far side for Tierney to Callum McGregor, and then back out onto that far side touchline where the sunshine is here in Glasgow this afternoon with that mop of blonde hair. Liam Scales goes across to Cameron Carter-Vickers. Celtic now on towards this near right hand side with Yang. He'll just let the ball bounce up in front of him, try and flick it with the outside of his right boot. It's quick interchange of play. Celtic across the penalty area again from the right hand side. This time Alistair Johnston getting involved, but again can't find a teammate, and St Mirren survive.
Yeah, but if you're an overlapping full-back, you just put it into that area. That's the perfect area there for Johnston. And I was just beginning to think there must be a slope in this pitch, because everything was going down the left hand side for Celtic, understandably so. They're very good there. But Yang over this side alongside Johnson, look, they're good players. Got to get them in the game a little bit, stretch them a little bit if you're Celtic, and ask more questions from the right hand side as well as the left of that St Mirren defence.
Johnston scored against St Mirren last season in August. One of the 4 Premiership goals he scored last campaign. There's Maeda with that dyed blonde hair of his, clipped up down the left back towards the Japanese international, but it bounces out of play. And St Mirren will have a goal kick, having started quite confidently. St Mirren, that's been lost a little bit in the last 10 minutes or so.
Tends to happen with teams that get control of the game. You know, Celtic got the ball, they're chasing, not exactly shadows, but they're chasing the ball. They've not got as much possession. They just naturally fall back. It just happens in games, and that's what Celtic tend to do in this league. They dominate teams, they pressure them, they wait for the mistake to happen, they wait for the little bit of a gap. And they've usually got good enough players who can spot that gap. And as I say, we keep on mentioning Tierney. He's looking pretty special at the moment out there. And the only thing about Tierney is, as everyone who's an Arsenal fan will tell you, keep him fit, and you've got a top quality player.
Celtic on the halfway line. There has been a wicket in the cricket. Ellie Oldroyd can bring us up to date.
Jacob Bethel going for a big swing to try and hurry this along and being clean bowled by Prasid Krishna. So England are still 42 away, 332 for 5. I said they're going to be 270, and they're not yet there.
Yeah, look, India are fighting till the very end, and you've got to give them credit for that. Here, Jacob Bethel looking to go down the ground with a big one. He just gave himself a bit too much room and exposed himself. But well done to Prasid Krishna, who just keeps it stump to stump. I think if England are going to attack you, you never know. One more wicket, and who knows? There is no Chris Wokes, so India need to fight right to the end.
Yep, we have got Jamie Smith coming out to join Joe Root. Root's on 104, England 42 away, 332 for 5.
Commentary on 5 Sports Extra. Ellie, thank you very much. We'll keep you up to date with that. Talking about a dramatic afternoon on 5 Live Sport, you can most certainly throw the cricket in. Celtic with Hatate looking from range to slide it in on the edge of the D. Now the arcing ball comes into the left, but it's far too close to Shamal George. He just pats the ball down on the floor, has it at his feet, will wait for Ida to close down, then pick it up, relieve the danger for St Mirren, running down the clock in doing so as well. We're at the midway point of the second half here at the first half here at Celtic Park, and it's 0-0.
Yeah, and I can see Stephen Robinson down there, the St Mirren manager. He's getting a little bit more animated because I think he knows that the game's going away from his team there. They're not controlling the midfield in any way whatsoever. They're not getting enough ball up the final third. They did once get into that final third, and the ball was put in the middle. And centre forward, Mandron, see when it comes in there, it's not going to come in there that often. You got to be there, and he hadn't, as they say, bust a gut to get there. You've got to do that every time because it's only limited occasions you'll get at Celtic Park. Whereas if you're Adam Eder at the other side, you've probably had 4 or 5 balls really whiz across that 6-yard line, and you're going to be at least another 5, 6, 7 before the end of the game. You just need to get on to one.
He's had a couple of half chances so far already. Both managers looking pretty relaxed on the touchline. Arms folded for Brendan Rodgers, who he's unsure whether he'll be here come the start of next season, into the final year of his current deal. And Stephen Robinson looking relaxed with his hands in his pockets as the cross comes in from the right hand side, floats over everybody. This is a St Mirren attack which Celtic, now in their right back position, are able to hack up into the air. To be brought down under the heavy touch though of King, and that allows Celtic back in. King on the recovery as Ida tried to move out towards this near right hand side of Celtic. St Mirren play it over towards the far side themselves and look to go once more on the right corner of the penalty area. It's stabbed into the middle. Mandron was stretching and stretched too much to take a lot of Liam Scales and none of the ball, and Celtic have a free kick inside their own penalty area.
Again, the hope's there for St Mirren now and again. When they did get up the park there was 4 players in the box, and quite often you go to see games at Celtic Park in this division, you maybe get 1, 2 in the box in a break. Actually, enough of them got in there, and that was quite impressive. The real shame for St Mirren is the quality of the ball, and has been basically nowhere near good enough most of the time so far.
Carter Vickers for Celtic uses Alistair Johnson, who gives him the ball back immediately. Now Kasper Schmeichel in his musty yellow outfit, the Celtic goalkeeper, on the edge of his penalty area. It's worked out towards the far side. Here's Maeda, stabbed on the outside of the boot of Kieran Tierney. Should be chased out by Gogic, and up towards the halfway line where St Mirren can get a little bit of possession, a little bit of space, a little bit of time through there. Captain Mark O'Hara now out towards the near side for Declan John. Been known to Bolton Wanderers fans. Bolton lost their opener in League One. We brought you reports of that earlier today against Stockport County, 2-0 at Edgeley Park. Football is well and truly back, but as Steve Crossman was saying in the build-up, it never really went away. A week ago today, England winning the Women's Euros, going back-to-back in Switzerland. King, long ball over the top. He's brought down well as well by Killian Phillips, who is set to be a star man for St Mirren this season. Was closed down quickly enough. Celtic have done their defensive duties. They've smashed the ball into the stand here on this near side, just down below us in front of the dugouts. A little bit of an injury to take care of Alistair Johnston here on the near side as well, but St Mirren will have a throw in. It was the ball over the top that Killian Phillips was trying to latch onto.
Yeah, and to be honest, a really good run from deep. There's been a couple of times when Idowu has come there. Obviously he's playing just behind centre forward Mandron. He's got into that position a few times and he's found a bit of space. And what you do know about Celtic, they will attack. That's the way it is. both fullbacks will go. There are gaps in there, so if you can break at pace, there are areas to run into. They haven't made enough capital with it yet. I would say that one there from Phillips was one of the best positions they've got into the game so far, and he's going to try the long throw now.
He is from the right hand side into the penalty area, a bit of spin on it. Where's it going to drop? Who's going to get the second ball? Declan John had a look at it, snatch shot, lower the left hand post, it goes wide. Semi-chance for St Mirren.
I mean, you want to catch that a little bit better. I mean, some of the times you see who's in front of you, and it's Kasper Schmeichel, so you almost over-concentrate to try to hit it absolutely perfectly. But once again, Schmeichel, very quiet afternoon. He'll be topping off his suntan today so far.
Certainly will. Now 39 years old, the fair-haired day. Played all but 6 Premiership games for Celtic last season. Under the feet of Hatate, he does well to not only keep control but wriggle free of the pressure that came from Roland Adowu as well. 0-0 here between Celtic and St Mirren in the opening game for these two of the Scottish Premiership season. Now Alistair Johnston just leaves it to the right-hand touchline for Yang. Needs a little bit of support. That goes now on the overlap of Johnston. First time delivery into the edge of the 6-yard box. Past Maeda. Shamal George stayed on his line. Then the low fired-in shot from the far side that Ida tried to poke a foot at. It gets a block in the way and goes behind for a corner. And it's still 0-0, and still Celtic can't find a way through.
But they're getting to the byline time and time again. It's not difficult for them to get there. But once again, the quality that Tierney adds to there. The ball comes to the back post. First touch is perfect. Second touch is lashed across there. And the ball was deflected over the top. It could have gone anywhere. Tierney's added something to his team without a shadow of a doubt.
Benjamin Negron taking this corner from the near side right of Celtic, left-footed, in-swinging delivery, headed away out of the penalty area. It'll drop for McGregor. Just has to dance around a little yellow plastic bag that's made its way onto the pitch. Another ball comes in from the far left-hand side of Celtic, and it's headed away and dealt with once again. It was Kieran Tierney's low-driven effort that led to that corner, but in the build-up to the corner, in preparing to take it, Negan just had a little waft of his right hand up towards the stand behind that goal to say, come on, be louder, be prouder, help this team get on its way a little bit. 0-0 at the moment between Celtic and St Mirren, with home side in possession. Cameron Carter-Vickers just towards the right of the centre circle, 10 yards or so inside the St Mirren half. It's played down the middle, a little too inviting for St Mirren to get the interception in. The control from Mark O'Hara. Out to Mandron to chase down. Touch comes off him last, with Cameron Carter-Vickers playing the ball forward. Mandron stuck out a leg, gives Celtic a throw in. A Celtic side that last season scored 112 goals in the league, their second most in a single campaign in the post-war era. Only bettered by the 114 they scored in the 22-23 season, but so far being held off here by St Mirren, maybe until now. An arcing ball around the right hand side has Ida looking onside for now. He's just held up in the penalty area, has to back away from it. Now the flag goes up. That gives St Mirren a free kick and allows us to go to the cricket. Ellie.
It's been such an epic 7 weeks between these two teams, and it's come down to this final act. England need 39 more to win. 5 wickets left. Joe Root has scored a century, and Mohamed Siraj, Ebony Rainford Brent, is bowling as if his life depended on it.
Yeah, look, you have to give credit here to both Prasid Krishna and Siraj. They are putting their last bit of energy, and they're getting the balls to talk, actually. They're bowling full, they're wrapping the pads, they're getting the crowd going up with LBW appeals. They nearly actually went up for one a moment ago, but this is high quality sport. They do not want to let this go.
The Indian fans to the right are loving this. The England fans to the left just a little bit quieter. 335 for 5, 39 needed to win.
Ellie, Ebony, thank you. Chance here for St Mirren, most certainly. Mandron tackled from behind, little lazy clip on his heel, he went down, and that gives St Mirren a free kick. 25 yards from the Celtic goal, left of the D. This is an opportunity, Pat Niven.
Classic one for a right footer to curl into the corner there. Probably a little bit wider, about 2 yards wider than you would absolutely like it to be. And as I say that, left footer walks up, so he's going to stick it to the back post for I would imagine.
Declan John over it.
Yeah, well, he's capable of hitting it from there, but you suspect this one's going to go to the back post for a number of players to go and attack it.
Two arms raised in the air from Declan John, who backs about 5 yards away from the ball. The left footer expected to swing this one into the penalty area. Players start to make their runs around the defence. It's a good one towards the back post, clipped away by Celtic, kept alive in the middle there by Marcus Fraser. Now moved out towards this near left-hand side of St Mirren. O'Hara lines it up, curling effort, punched away. Out for a throw-in on the far side. Kasper Schmeichel, quick to react. He looked destined for the far right corner, 0-0.
Yeah, he should save that one, but it's a shot on target. It's with power. It's called away to the back corner there. I would say that's the best 2 moments of the game so far for St Mirren, and they'll get a real lift for that. And you know you're going to have to soak up a little bit of pressure. We'll see if that reaction is a good one for St Mirren to get a few more attempts on target.
And can they start to build momentum? Throw into the penalty area, come back out to the taker on the far side, laid towards Fraser Taylor. He goes right-footed, curling towards the edge of the 18-yard box of Celtic. Away first time from them, mopped up by Gogic. So St Mirren have the ball back on the floor, out towards the far side touchline, a yard in if that from it. It's a cross that's early, but this one much more comfortable for Kasper Schmeichel, who gathers with 2 hands, runs towards the edge of his penalty area, tries to release Adam Eder. Always favourite to it was Gogic with his shaven head, and he plays it back to Shamal George, who goes under it first time with a load of backspin on the ball towards the halfway line.
Do you know, Gogic is one of those players, and I watch him a good deal, and he's playing with St Mirren, and it's to take nothing away from St Mirren, but why he's not playing for a Celtic or Rangers has always been beyond me. He is a fabulous footballer at this level.
Yang infield, McGregor, the captain of Celtic, plays it to Liam Scales on the edge of the centre circle. Back it comes to McGregor, and now Johnston on the right-hand side. The near for the home side in this first half, of which we've played nearly 33 minutes, and it is still 0-0. Charlie Hull closing in on the top of that leaderboard at the Women's Open. Royal Porthcrawl chasing down Yamashita, who's 12 under. Hull is 10 under through 13. We'll get regular updates from Cat Downs, watching the final dramatic action on BBC Radio 5 Live. Drama in the F1, which was run by Lando Norris earlier to close that gap to Oscar Piastri at the top of the standings. Ball low in from the far side for Celtic. He'd have tried to lay it off. St Mirren able to clear it low along the ground, and then the flag goes up, delayed once again, but another offside against Adam Eder. There's been a couple of those this afternoon.
Yeah, and he has to go and play in the line. Remember, he's playing against 3 centre-backs, Eder, so you know, a lot of time we have 1, 2, sometimes 3 players. And as I said, Gogic, one of the really top players in Scottish football at the moment, not just a very good central defender, but a leader as well, but very, very impressive on the ball. So he does not get a lot of space there. And by the way, I know it's not my job, but can I do a little bit of an update from Scottish football today? Hibernian have won 2-1. I believe that takes them top of the league. Kieran Bhoys scoring both goals. Q, the headlines, star man, Bowie.
Pat providing all the updates for us.
Do you think I would do it for Whitney Hibbs?
Maybe. I was going to say, maybe with a little bit of vested interest in there as well. 0-0 here between Celtic and St Mirren, and the ball played out towards the left-hand side. Tierney tries to go early, blocked off at source by Killian Phillips, a permanent signing at the club. Already has 4 goals this season, both of them coming in his last 2 games against Annan and Ayr. The former Crystal Palace youngster did score in that 5-2 loss against Celtic back in March. Celtic in possession with Nygren towards the edge of the D on the St Mirren penalty area. It'll run through loosely to Yang. Yang then uses Hitate, tight to the byline right-hand side. Shamal George diving away from his goal line into his 6-yard box, catches with 2 safe hands and prevents any further danger for St Mirren. 0-0.
And immediately they get to the byline again. I mean, you want to get there 2-3 times in a half, and any more than that, that's great. You know what Manchester City were always fantastic at doing. Celtic are doing it with such ease at the moment. I looked right down at Brendan Rodgers, and he was already making a note about it, because I think he said to his team, keep on getting there, but in midfielders, you've got to get into that area when you get to the byline. And at the moment they still can't get that final touch.
It's getting nervy at the Oval, Ellie.
Stings in the tail all over the place. Joe Root is out for 105. Excellent wicket keeping by Dhruv Jurel. Prasid Krishna, the bowler. 37 still needed to win. 337 for 6. Ebony Rainford Brent. Oh, what a moment.
This is massive. Prasid Krishna has charged in. He's hard. He's running in on the final day. and he really got a ball to just lift and bounce. It was only a feather of an edge through to the keeper, but that extra bounce, that extra lift, and this is just showing two sides going right to the wire. The battle is on, but now with Joe Root back in the hutch, who knows, they're one batter down, potentially with Chris Wokes, he may have to come out, who knows.
Yeah, if England need just a handful of runs to win at the end, Chris Wokes, we're told, may well come out in a sling to bat one-handed, but Jamie Overton is heading out to join Jamie Smith. 37 needed, 337 for 6.
Ellie, thank you. Wow. Drama, you can listen to it unfold on Sports Extra if you need BBC Sounds. That's where you can also take commentary of Celtic 0, St Mirren 0 at the moment in the Scottish Premiership. Opener for both of these two sides. If you're heading out, maybe the start of your summer holidays, you can take us with you. Yang in from the right-hand side. Little dance for him past Mark O'Hara, the St Mirren captain. He lets Hitate take over. Now Turney pushes it on through for Maeda, left of the penalty area, but he'll back out of it. Play it back to Kieran Turney. Those two interchanging passes again. It's tricky play from Celtic. Turney, a little dance to the left, then the right, back towards the byline. Hangs the ball in the air from the left-hand side on the cross. Headed away from the St Mirren defence, and now they're asking for Roland Adowu to chase the ball and keep it up towards the halfway line. His chase is short and short-lived, and Celtic back in possession, but that was nice between Maeda and particularly Kieran Turney.
Yeah, well, I asked the question 2 minutes into the game. The question has been answered effortlessly by those two over there. Honestly, at will they get to the byline. The quality when they get there is exceptional. There was a whole bunch of Celtic players got in the box that time, and you're now beginning to see a lot of the St Mirren players beginning to fade a little bit, getting tired. You mentioned Adowu looking tired there. You know, I would argue that Mandron's even more tired looking than him. He's hardly had a kick of the ball in this game. He's run himself out. Doing this against the likes of Celtic just gets harder and harder every single minute.
It certainly does. It's a tireless effort to try and keep Celtic out, but they are for now. St Mirren 0-0 with around about 7 minutes left of the first half. Yang in from the right corner of the penalty area now. McGregor, Hitate takes a little touch to step away from the left-hand side. Now here's Adamida. He lays it back out to Hitate. It's tight and compact on the edge of the penalty area, almost on the penalty spot. St Mirren survive again for now. It won't be a long reprieve though, because once again Celtic looking for the attack on the left-hand side of Kieran Turney. It doesn't happen. Mandron will go chasing. Cameron Carter-Vickers has the cover and lays it back low towards Kasper Schmeichel, who can take one touch to control and a second one to give it to Johnston. And now you can hear the noise around Celtic Park because the fans want them to go again and keep this pressure up.
They did lift it and the pace. There's a little bit of a growing when Celtic trying to play through the middle with intricate 1-2s there. I don't think there should be a growing. You've got to do that now and again. You've got to ask a different question. The question's been the same one time and again. Get to the byline, right hand side some of the time, left hand side most of the time, and they've done it very well. But ask other questions as well. They tried to do that, Celtic didn't quite get through. But that's what defenders don't want. They don't want different questions. That's all the time. So I think Celtic should carry on doing that if they want to win this game.
Down the left hand side they come again. The ball just rolls on the touchline on the wrong side of the white paint for Blaise Maeda on that far side. St Mirren throw.
It was an interesting break though. Just after a really good place to play with Celtic, they nearly got through with Ida, but the break was a 1-on-1, and it was Mandron on Carter-Vickers, and you think, well, wait a minute, you've got that wrong. No, you've not. That's how Celtic do it. They will go man-to-man at the back. They will trust their defenders to be able to cope, and I think Carter-Vickers most of the time will back himself against most of the forwards up here.
Fourth season now with Celtic. Cameron Carter-Vickers, the former Tottenham Hotspur, Sheffield United, Ipswich and Bournemouth man. Celtic in possession. 0-0 the score. 5 minutes left of the first half. Out towards the left-hand side, as it so has often been this afternoon for Celtic. Maeda and Hitate combined now. Tierney gets involved with their backs towards goal at the minute, but Ida takes it on the chest control. Slams his shot weakly into the floor, and that's an easy save for Shamal George in the middle of his goal. Clutches the ball at his chest, he dives on the floor. I think the defence just about did enough to put off Adam Ida there.
Yeah, but they're stretching it all the time now. That's the second time in a couple of minutes they've tried to go through the middle. A little bit of intricate play, a little through ball. I think they know that's where Ida's strengths are. If you play it into his feet and he turns quickly, he'll either get a foul or get through and goal. That time he got through and goal, but just didn't have enough quality.
Now look at the pace of Maeda chasing down Jaden Richardson, but the debutant defender of St Mirren. Did enough there. Playing from Boreham Wood in the summer. It's Richardson, who won the National League South playoffs last season. Has had time in Scotland before. He's a former Aberdeen man. Now on a 2-year deal at St Mirren. Long ball forward for Celtic this time. Controlled by the St Mirren defence, and they can play their way out with King using Fraser. St Mirren here could really do with a breather, keeping the ball for a little sustained period of time. They haven't seen much of it, particularly as the first half has gone on a warm Celtic Park, blue skies above this famous ground in, well, world football, let alone Scottish football. Long ball down the right-hand side is marshalled well by Kieran Tierney, despite the chase from Jayden Richardson, and it will be a Celtic goal kick. They waste no time getting on with it. Kasper Schmeichel getting one of the spare ball options from around the pitch, placed on cones here to get Celtic as far up the field as quickly as possible. Johnston on the halfway line, 0-0 the score. A little over 3 minutes left of normal time at the end of this first half. Celtic at a relaxed pace now with Liam Scales, squares it across the pitch towards his near side to his centre-back partner in Cameron Carter-Vickers. He now plays a low ball down the right. On the touchline is Alistair Johnston. Johnston infield to McGregor. Now Hitate, mop of black hair, bouncing with every step that he takes. McGregor on the chest control, midway inside the St Mirren half as it's played out towards the left-hand side. Now Mead, he crosses it in, and seen behind, no risk taken by the St Mirren defence, because Nygren was waiting to maybe pounce, and now he races over to take the corner on the near side. He hasn't really got the options that he wants. Michael Mandron races back to help out his St Mirren side here. Corner on the near side, Celtic's right. Nygren goes short towards the right corner of the penalty area, uses Johnston outside of the boot pass to Yang. There's numbers and options open there for Celtic. Back to Nygren, left-footed delivery, floats in the air. Shamal George will always be favourite for it, backpedaling on the edge of the 6-yard box left-hand side, but he gathers, and Celtic's attack will have to wait for another day.
Do you know, if you're a Celtic fan just now, I will not be surprised if there's one name in your mind above all other names right this second. He's a player who's not been here for 6 months. Kyogo is the type of player that when you put the ball between the centre-backs and the goalkeeper, he's there. He just makes sure that he's there. He's just a natural finisher, goes into the right areas. How many times now? I mean, I've absolutely lost count of many times that ball's been zipped across. It just needs a tap in, and it's not there.
Late challenge on Alistair Johnston, and a yellow card for Roland Adowu. Johnston played it down the right-hand side. The ball had run away towards the near side touchline to find the man, but Johnston was caught late. And there's no questions in Don Robertson's mind that that is a yellow card in the first of the afternoon. Midway inside the St Mirren half, out on this right-hand side, Celtic will have a free kick.
Yeah, and Johnston had a little bit of an injury just before that as well, so he didn't need that. For me, Adowu, there's two things there. Number one, frustration. He's chasing and chasing, he's hardly got a kick of the ball. And number two, on top of that, just too tired to keep on chasing back. He just takes the player out. It's tough, and he's accepted it, and give him his due. He's accepted it's the right yellow card, it's the right thing.
Yeah, I don't think he could have too many complaints whilst we wait for this Celtic free kick. Let's go to the Women's Open, Cat Downs.
Fifth birdie of the day for Charlie Hull on the par 4 14th, drained a 25-footer, and she's back to within one shot of the lead of the Japanese leader Miyu Yamashita, who is in a bit of trouble down the par 5 13th. Found the sand, and she's got to get up and down to save her par and save her lead. Hull closing in, one behind with 4 to play.
Kat, thank you. What an afternoon of Five Live Sports. Steve Crossman's at the Hungarian Grand Prix. He'll give us the debrief after Lando Norris took victory earlier in just a few moments' time. 1 minute of added time here at Celtic Park. We've got the cricket going on where England are closing in on that 374 target. Ellie Oldroyd can keep us updated there, plus Charlie Hull. Drama in the athletics as well, with a tight finish in the men's 1500 metres. It's a great afternoon of live sport as the football season picks up again. We're at Celtic Park for what is currently 0-0. If St Mirren can survive the next 30 seconds, they will 100% take that down in the tunnel at the break, and Stephen Robertson, the manager, will be a very happy man. But for now, here comes Yang trying to make sure that Celtic can take a lead going into the interval. Yang to Hitate, but he's got his back to goal and needs the support of McGregor. St Mirren keeping that tight line for now, but Maeda gets it on the left-hand side. Across goes Richardson with him, and then fired in. It's still alive here for Celtic. Soft header in the end from Negrin means Shamal George can catch. That will probably be it for the end of the first half. Celtic very nearly finding the breakthrough. It is the end of the first half at Celtic Park. Very nearly did the home side take a lead into the break, but St Mirren's resistance holds firm for now, and they'll be taking a big breath as they get their energies back for the second half.
Yeah, that's the best chance of the game for either side there. Deflection, I think goalkeeper gets a hand on it, hits off the woodwork, comes back out there, could have gone anywhere. What a moment it could have been for Negrin, but he didn't get it, and they've held on by the skin of their teeth. The fingernails are getting worn down there by St Mirren, and you feel if this keeps on going at this level, they'll eventually wilt. However, 0-0, half-time. I actually know who the happier manager will be, and it won't be Brendan.
I've got a feeling it might be Stephen Robinson. Just the one chance for St Mirren, which needed Kasper Schmeichel to punch away, but they're still in this game. It is at the break, Celtic 0, St Mirren 0.
Second half commentary, of course, from Celtic Park. What a dramatic couple of hours are ahead of us on 5 Live, with Charlie Hull very much still in the fight after that fantastic putt, one shot off the lead deep into the final round of the Women's Open golf, and England at the Oval inching ever closer with fingernails down to the quick, Ellie Oldroyd.
I think at tea, Steve, I wouldn't say that Ben Stokes was exactly sitting on the England balcony with his feet up and a large cigar in his mouth, but he had that look about him. We've just seen a picture shot of him sitting there, just that way. You hunch forward, your knees are jiggling, your hands are sweating, your mouth is dry. 339 for 6. 35 needed, the two Jamies in the middle, Smith on 2, Overton yet to get off the mark. Will Joe Root and Harry Brooks, brilliant work be undone. Mohamed Siraj is bowling like a man possessed. Ebony Rainford Brent and the Indian crowd are loving every second of this.
Yeah, look, the crowds are going in a positive way. Almost you hear the Indian crowd roar and cheer, and then the England fans think, let's match that, and that's exactly what's happening on the pitch here. The Indian bowlers have really lifted it. How tired they must be. 25 days of wearing Test cricket, and they are still charging in. Mohamed Siraj is bowled in every single game, and he is still putting his body on the line here. Ellie, I can feel the drama. Everyone can feel it.
There was that thing about the post-tea session, 135 runs added in that afternoon, 153 actually in the afternoon session. It looked so easy. Batting looked like the easiest thing in the world for Harry Brook and Joe Root, and now all of a sudden it's like there are just kind of nails coming up out of the pitch, that there are it's like an Indiana Jones film, that all the big rocks and the rotating blades are coming in. It's looking impossible.
Yeah, and it's fascinating, isn't it? Part of this game is so psychological. When Harry Brook and Joe Root were at the crease, they were confident, they were set, they were seeing the ball like a football, and they were hitting it with ease. But once that wicket went, you just felt the pressure creep up, and then all of a sudden the Indians really switched on. Don't forget as well, they've got a new ball around the corner, so they're getting this one to talk, Ellie, but also in a few moments' time, if they can keep the score down, they'll have a chance to attack again.
The target on the big scoreboards around the ground has been ticking down, and it seemed to go down really quickly in the afternoon session. There was a point where it was 200 needed, then it was 150 needed. Feels like it's been stuck on 35 for about an hour.
It really has, and I think the reality here is, India, what they've done really well is they've really attacked the stumps, so it forces England to have to play. Jamie Overton has been trying to keep his cool. There's even been a lot going on in the stands where he's asked people to sit down so he can concentrate, and this is what's happening here, is just a real attack from India, keeping it stump to stump, forcing England to play, and it's been hard to get away, and it's been hard with the pressure.
Chris Wokes on the first evening here ran down to field a ball just below us, fell over, tripped over, hurt his shoulder, has basically been sitting out the rest of the game. His shoulder seriously injured, we don't know what it is, almost certainly a dislocation, could be worse than that. but we're told he has his whites on and can come out.
Yeah, and we were having this conversation, Ellie. They might have to risk it. You know, he's had a bad injury clearly, and he's potentially going to be out of the game for some time. But if it comes down to him needing, say, 10 runs to win, England needing 10 runs to win, he will put his body on the line for the team. He's got his whites on in that changing room, so he may be called on.
Throughout this whole day, Steve, every single member of this crowd has been gripped by the drama. 339 for 6, 35 to win. If England win this, it will be the greatest run chase on this ground by a country mile. If India win this, it will be one of the great victories, one of the great comebacks, levelling the series. I mean, so much drama still to come. It's still 35 needed. It's going to be 35 runs needed forever.
It feels like it has always been 35 runs needed. Thank you very much, you two. We'll be back with you very shortly, no doubt. Of course, we've got second half commentary on the way. Celtic 0, St Mirren 0 at the break. First game of the new Scottish Premiership season for those two. If you're wondering why I'm a little bit quieter now, I'm not at Royal Porthcawl, where you have to just be slightly more hushed when the big putts and the big shots happen at the Women's Open. It's because I'm now in the massive, sprawling press room at the Hungara Ring. There's probably about 200 journalists in here, all tapping away on their keyboards. I'm going to speak to one of them shortly, our correspondent Andrew Benson. We will hear from Lando Norris. We'll bring you right up to date with what's happening at Royal Porthcawl. We'll be back and forth to the Oval, and then second half commentary from Celtic Park, all after the news on 5 Live with Lisa McCormick.
The voice of the UK. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Steve. The Financial Conduct Authority has announced a consultation into compensation for people who were charged hidden commissions on car loans. It thought the total cost of the scheme could be as high as £18 billion. Health officials in Gaza say 6 more children have died from starvation or malnutrition in the past day, bringing the total to 175, 93 of them children. The government here says it's working quickly on a plan to bring children who urgently need medical care to the UK. Winds of up to 85 miles per hour are being forecast to hit Scotland as Storm Florence hits the UK. An amber weather warning is in place for much of the country from 10 a.m. tomorrow. A yellow warning for wind comes into place across Northern England, North Wales and Northern Ireland at 6 o'clock in the morning. And the BBC has confirmed it's investigating claims of alleged drug use by 2 Strictly stars. It follows a report in The Sun on Sunday claiming the use of cocaine is well known. The corporation says clear protocols and policies are in place for dealing with any serious complaint.
BBC Radio 5 Live. Weekdays from 9. Nikki Campbell takes your calls on the day's biggest news.
It's great that you've got in touch, great that you're on.
I'm sure people have no idea the amount of grief and stress that doctors go through.
We have a serious problem in identity. Are we England? Are we UK? Are we Britain? Are we Great Britain?
Such passionate opinions on both sides of this argument.
Nikki Campbell, back Monday from 9. BBC Radio 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Straight back to the Oval, Ellie.
Yes, we've got an umpire review for caught behind. Jamie Overton, well out of his crease, just playing at one from Prasid Krishna, trying to drive. It was caught by Dhruv Jurel behind the stumps. He appealed, not with a huge amount of conviction, Ebony. We're just looking now at Ultra Edge. It looks like it's hit the ground and not hit the bat. I think
the question was from the umpires. The umpire were reviewing to see if the ball had, when it gone underneath the bat, did it hit the back on the way up to the keeper, and if it did, it would have been going on the full. Here to us, Ellie, it looks like it's grounded, which means that Jamie Overton would be safe, but the umpires haven't confirmed yet.
No, just waiting now for confirmation of this. They're rolling it backwards and forwards, so you can see the spike when it hits the ground. Looks like there's a little bit of gap between bat and ball at that point, and I think he's going to survive here. The umpires are conferring. Kumar Dharmasema and Azim Raza just looking at the screen, looking at each other. 339 for 6. Going to have a look at it again.
Yeah, gut feel here, Ellie, is this is not out. It looks like the ball's gone under the bat and hit the floor, which is what they want. What they were just checking is, did it bounce and hit the back of the bat on the way through? I think he's safe. They are taking their time though, Ellie, which gets you more worried.
It is tense, this. We had a DRS review just now as well for LBW, which took forever to come up with the 3 with a not out, but still looking at it, Steve. Smith on 2, Overton yet to get off the mark. Again, it feels like he's been there for ages and not scored. But still, guess what? 35 needed to win for England, and it's dark, and the clouds are hanging low now, and the floodlights are on, and everyone is so full of tension. This is such drama on the final, what will almost certainly be the final day of this Test series.
All right, well, I'm not recommending to anybody that you hold your breath for the next 90 seconds. That wouldn't be sensible.
Hang on, result not out, Steve.
There we go.
Thank goodness. And breathe.
And breathe. Thank you very much, you two. Commentary continues on 5 Sports Extra. Here at the Hungara Ring, we brought you full commentary of Lando Norris winning the Hungarian Grand Prix, holding off his teammate Oscar Piastri to cut the gap in the World Championship title race down to 9 points. Let's hear from Lando Norris. He gets a break now. It's clear that race took a lot out of him.
Yeah, a good one, of course, but it was tough. Like, as soon as I knew Oscar was 7 seconds behind with like 20 to go, I didn't really think it was going to be possible, honestly. So it was more, okay, can I just make sure I get second? But as the laps went on, the better the chance I had in a way, and the last few laps were close. Well fought from both sides. It was fun racing, and yeah, tough. If I made one tiny mistake, it was over. So it was good fun.
You kept it perfect out on track. No mistakes out there that we could see and the commentators saw. So that's a good thing. Yeah. And 9 points is now the gap. That gives you a bit of momentum, a bit of extra motivation. I'm expecting you're pretty pleased, no?
I mean, of course, I'm very pleased, but at the minute it's just this to and fro. Like Oscar wins, I win. It's very close between us. At this point it's so close, I wouldn't say there's a momentum thing. It's just he's driving well and I'm driving well, and that's about it. That's the extent of it. So, I'm making my life still too tough. I'm not giving myself the opportunities that I need still. So I got to work on a few more things, but I'm confident. Like, I'm definitely very confident. If I can nail them a bit more, then I'll have no worries.
There you go. That's Lando Norris. Ellie, what's happening now?
Well, the umpires, just after we were with you last time, the umpires came out and they put the light meter on top of the stumps, and they have gone off for bad light. Just looking at the rain radars, it does look like there is a shower coming in. As I said, it was very, very dark overhead. They're putting the covers on, but not very quickly. I think, Ebony, actually, that the two Jamies, Overton and Smith, will be quite happy to go and sit in the pavilion and regroup.
Yeah, I think the only frustration for England is going to be that they're going to have to be potentially on and off tonight, which is not great for batting conversation, but it does look dark, and it looks like it might roll in more. So it might be an opportunity just to regroup.
OK, 339 for 6, then, Steve. It's going to be 35 needed to win for a bit longer.
Oh, goodness me. Thank you very much, you two. Right, here at the Hungara Ring, I've got our F1 correspondent, Andrew Benson, with us. Andrew, we're just listening there to Lando Norris speaking immediately after the race, but they speak a lot. Were there any kind of killer quotes that have struck you?
Well, I think the first thing he said when he got out of the car and spoke to someone from the media was, I'm dead, which kind of gives you an impression of how much this took out of him. When they stopped, when they switched Norris to a one-stop to try and give him a chance of getting onto the podium, a second place at that point, they didn't think that beating Piastri was an option, really. They didn't even know whether he would make the one-stop work. So that tells you just how difficult it was for him to make his tyres last those 39 laps that he did. I think this is probably one of his best wins, and it's certainly a big boost that he needed going into the summer break to cut that championship lead back to 9 points, as opposed to seeing it extend to nearly a full win.
What I really enjoyed seeing at the end of the race is what these two guys will do to win against each other now. You said a little bit earlier this week that you can see that it's all been quite nicey so far. I think it's pretty clear the days of it being nicey are numbered.
Well, I think it's still nicey in the sense that they get on together out of the car, and the harmony within the McLaren team between the drivers and the team bosses and everything is all still fine. At least that's what we can sense right now in the immediate aftermath of the race. But what we heard in the race was just how much it meant to them. At one point, Piastri was asked, "Do you want to focus on beating Leclerc, which looked like being for the win at the time, or do you want to focus on beating Norris?" And he went, "I want Norris. I don't care about Leclerc." As it happened, Leclerc faded in the last last part of the race, and he wasn't in the picture anymore, so it did become for the win. But in those radio exchanges between Piastri and his engineer and Norris and his engineer, we finally heard, I think, the nakedness of the competitive instinct of both of those drivers, and it was the first real edge that we've felt this year, I think, because it's been, as you say, so nicey off the track and on the track. So it doesn't stop it being harmonious, but it does mean that for us watching, we now get a sense of just how much it means. And of course, the more tension there is like that, the more possibility there is that it'll boil over at some point.
Thank you. I'll let you get back to scribbling.
Thank you.
Top man, correspondent Andrew Benson. Right, well, we've got the cricket drama going on, and also Charlie Hull is still very much in contention to win her first major. So, Catherine Downs, what's going on now?
Yeah, we've really been enjoying that drama and the tension at the Oval. It's just as tense here at Royal Porthcawl on the South Wales coast, Steve. Charlie Hull, one behind with 3 holes to play, but she's found a bit of trouble down the fairway off the tee on the 16th, which has all week played the hardest hole on the course, so she's just tackling the toughest patch of her final round, and she's 1 shot back. Meanwhile, the leader, Miyu Yamashita of Japan, is just ticking off the hole. She's got 4 straight pars so far on her back 9. She's still 1 ahead. Hull on 11 under par, Yamashita on 12 under par, and at the moment that's where all the focus is here at Royal Porthcawl. The Telegraph's golf correspondent James Corrigan is sitting alongside me, a proud Welshman himself. It's turned into quite the spectacle, hasn't it, James?
Well, when I set off from Cardiff this morning, I was driving up the M4 and it was, grey and rain, and I thought, here we go again. The old cliches will go around the world about how when you go to Wales it rains, and guess what? The sun's come out, and this is the perfect Spurs stage. This is actually what we dreamt about when Porthcawl got the Women's Open, and I think it's just the course looks absolutely spectacular. Charlie's put on a great show. She's thrown everything at this leader, but the leader will not buckle. She's yet to have a bogey today, and it's just fantastic. As a Welshman, I am proud of this place. Where whenever we've had golf before, the Ryder Cup in 2010, it was a monsoon. We've had the Seniors Open here 3 times. Each time it's been basically played underwater. And it's been a nightmare, so this is just fantastic for us.
Yeah, it's been a spectacular week, and Charlie Hull looking to give us a spectacular story to tell, Steve. She's 1 off the lead of Miyu Yamashita at 12 under par, just splashing out of the bunker here on the 16th, looking to avoid trouble. It's just plunging down into some rough down the left-hand side of 16, so she's in danger here of dropping a shot, Hull, and drifting 2 off the lead with 3 holes left to play.
Sports Extra 3 for the golf, Sports Extra to see if we get back on in the cricket. Full-time football scores: Stockport 2, Bolton 0, Falkirk 2, Dundee United 2, Dundee 1, Hibs 2, Celtic 0, St Mirren 0 is a half-time score. Second half commentary live on 5 Live with Pat Nevin and Mike Minear.
Steve, thank you. We're Celtic fans in that northeast corner. From the top of the first tier down to pitch side, have just unveiled the second of their tifos, remembering one of the 2 Lisbon Lions from the 1967 European Cup win. This one about John Fallon.
He was the substitute goalkeeper on that famous day in Lisbon. And it's one of those teams where I can actually name the team off by heart. Does that make me sad?
You've just been encouraged by producer Gavin Wallace to go and name them.
Oh, it's easy. Simpson, Craig, Gemmill, Murdoch, McNeil and Clark, Johnson, Wallace, Chalmers, Auld and Lennox.
Do you want it? Very well done. Do you want to do the starting 11 for Celtic this afternoon as well?
No, but I could do that lip smacking first question one if you want.
Schmeichel in goal for Celtic. No changes to them at the break. Johnston, Carter, Vickers, Scales and Tierney, the back 4. Negrin, McGregor and Hatate, with Yang, Ida and Maeda. Their front 3 this afternoon. Celtic the home side, the green and white horizontal hoops, white shorts, white socks. They're now right to left in the second 45 minutes, attacking away from the Lisbon Lions stand. A little bit of marshalling to do for Liam Scales here, which he does well. St Mirren have made a change at the break. They brought on Jonah Ayunga for Fraser Taylor, an attacking substitution by Stephen Robinson. His side all in black this afternoon, left to right, George in goal, Gogic, King and Fraser the back line, Richardson, Phillips, O'Hara and now Ayunga as the midfield. John, Mandron and Idowu, their front 3 that have rarely seen the ball. One chance for captain Mark O'Hara in the first half. The rest has all been about Celtic, but the discussion at half-time in the press room. Pat Nevin was very much kind of about Celtic being largely underwhelming, and maybe Brendan Phillips gives this current team 10 minutes at the start of the second half. If not, things get changed from the bench.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Yang on the far side, the right-hand side, he's not gone past his full-back, I don't think, once yet. And I rate him very highly as a technical player. But, you know, there's players such as Forrest you could bring in, ask another question there. But no, Brendan Rodgers seems to have given them all 10 minutes. But it won't be a lot more than that. And by the way, I mentioned my comment during the first half if Kyogo Furuhashi was playing for Celtic, Hame would have scored, and the consensus was he would have scored 4 in that first half had he been on the pitch.
Chances were there for Celtic, just whilst there's a free kick given to St Mirren for a slightly late tackle, nothing too sinister from Kieran Tierney. What has allowed is Cameron Carter-Vickers to go round and pick up a lot of small black plastic flags that have been used as part of the Tifo collections that we've had here at Celtic Park this afternoon to remember those 2 Lisbon Lions that have sadly passed away. John Fallon, as we said, just remembered at the start of the second half. John Clark was remembered before kick-off. Both also had a minute's applause before the start of play. But a couple of those black banners that have outlined the silhouettes, the Tifos, have made their way onto the pitch. So Cameron Carter-Vickers has just done a little clean-up operation. St Mirren in possession on the halfway line with Richard King, one of 3 debutants today for the club. Also Killian Phillips starting, but he's now signed permanently. His debut technically came last season in his loan spell. St Mirren win the ball again on the halfway line. Here's Gogic, just on the edge of the centre circle. It's a curling, right-footed ball in the air, swinging towards the Celtic penalty area. Celtic fans a little uncomfortable here with how their team are just handling the possession. Down on the floor now with Cameron Carter-Vickers, and played back towards goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel. Like I say, just the one save needed from him in the first half from the curling shot, looking for the far corner from the St Mirren captain Mark O'Hara. Here's Tierney, impressive start to his second spell here at Celtic Park. 6 years away with Arsenal, but has joined again. That's a ball in from the right hand side, needing the diving header of Adam Eder that doesn't connect with the ball as it swings in towards the 6-yard box. It goes behind, must have taken a touch. Has it? Because it's...
I think they want to get the black bags removed from the ground. That's what the referee's looking at just now. But once again, that ball zipped in between the centre-backs and the goalkeeper. I mean, every centre-forward worth his salt will say, just do that all day long. If I'm not there, it's my fault. The amount of centre-forwards, it's ingrained in my brain, told me through my career, get the ball in that area, and if I miss it, it's my problem. Well, the ball's been in there about 20 times there and we've still not scored from it yet, Celtic.
Yeah, Adam Eder is their target focus. Here's McGregor, the captain, edge of the penalty area, low shot, saved low and well by Shamal George. The ball squirmed away from his gloves. It was all about who could get the second ball from that opportunity. St Mirren have cleared it away for now. Ball in from the right corner of the penalty area, bounces wide of the left-hand post, behind for a goal kick. Celtic sharpening up a little.
Yeah, I could say that save there from George. He'll be delighted with that start of the second half. Celtic had a great chance right at the end. Obviously he made the save, went onto the woodwork right at the end of the first half, Shamal George. On this occasion, that ball, we're right behind it, aren't we? We saw an arrow towards the corner, low down, but he got a big hand on it and his defenders helped him out by clearing it.
So 0-0 with 6 minutes gone in the second half on 5 Live Sport, live from Glasgow this afternoon. We're also across what's happening in the golf, the Women's Open with Cat Downs. We've also got to keep an eye on the cricket, although bad light has stopped play for now at the Oval, and the Aldroyd is there for us. England closing in on their target of 374, 339 for 6. With rain stopping play, England require 35 more runs. Will they get it? They can play up till 7 o'clock this evening if they can get back out on the pitch at the Oval. So we will wait and see. We'll keep you across. It's St Mirren free kick here, slightly towards the halfway line, almost at the midway point of the Celtic half on this near side, the right for the team. Cladded all in black this afternoon amongst now the grey skies of Glasgow. Still warm, swung in by O'Hara, missed by everybody as the heads go up. It runs away towards the far left-hand side by the touchline. Kept alive though by St Mirren. And Younger goes down, the ball's still alive, the pullback is weak. as they crept towards the byline. That was half a chance for St Mirren that they couldn't keep. Initially I thought play might have stopped for Ayunga and his foul, but the referee allowed play on. The pullback unsuccessful, still 0-0.
Again, one of the best pieces of play from St Mirren today, and it's a substitute who's come on. He's got two players on him, and classically if he can go and turn them and get between them, they can't really tackle you. They tried to, he would have got a foul, but the ball was collected the other side there. Shame for St Mirren, the cutback, but they've got to the byline once now, and that's a little bit more exciting. They've added a little bit more positivity in the second half by putting Ayanga up front, and because Ayanga's there, they've also obviously got Mandron up front. Adoro, he'll come up front often, and Richardson comes from right wing back time and again as well, so there's a threat.
Ayunga, who scored against Celtic in the final game of last season, as they, the home side, try and build on the edge of the penalty area, but unsuccessfully so. But now on the break, maybe with Celtic pushing forward, can St Mirren do something here? Ayunga, left corner of the penalty area, he tries the shot, that is too weak. He slips as he takes the shot, and Kasper Schmeichel makes the save at his near left hand post, and now he quickly tries to get Celtic back on the front foot, back up the other end with Hatate, who runs through the centre circle, gives it out to the right hand side, the far side now for Celtic. Hatate gets it back. It's slowed down a little bit with St Mirren in their defensive positions. Crossing from Maeda, sliding challenge came in from Marcus Fraser, who looks like he might have injured his back in stretching to put that ball behind for a corner, which he did. Celtic corner on the near left hand side, but a little concern here for Marcus Fraser.
Well, he won't want to go off at a corner kick, you know. He's an important player in that box if a ball's going to be put on high, so the physios are waiting, but I don't think he's going to let them get on. Don't want to go down to 10 now.
He's on his feet. He'll run that injury off. Just a moment of concern. The physios retreat back towards the dugout. Corner on the near side left then for Celtic, so expect an out-swinging left-footed delivery from Nygren. Another debutant on the pitch. The header goes up from Maeda, but over the bar. And it's a goal kick in the end to St Mirren, 0-0.
He's not the tallest player to pick up like the proverbial salmon there. Headed over the top. Another half chance for Celtic. They are creating them. I suppose what Brendan Rodgers will think, will just keep on creating that number, and eventually one of them, even maybe a mistake, a miss-hit, a bobble, a deflection, might end up going in.
Tension-filled afternoon on 5 Live Sport. That includes from the Women's Open, where Cat Downs. What's the latest on Charlie Hull?
First drop shot of the day for England's Charlie Hull on the par 4 16th. It's played the hardest hole on the course all week. Charlie Hull making a bit of a mess of it, but draining an absolute monster from 20 feet to limit the damage to just the one drop shot. It means she is 2 behind the leader, Yamashita, with 2 holes left to play. The leader just teeing off the 15th, and Hull just hitting her tee shot on the 17th. She's at 10 under, Yamashita at 12 under.
Cat, thank you. We'll be regularly to Royal Porthcawl throughout the rest of the evening as Maeda tries to get in on the left-hand side of the penalty area, and then a little bit of shielding work done by Marcus Fraser, who gets a nudge in the back. He goes down. He was waiting for it. He knew how to play for that free kick, and has won it on the edge of the St Mirren penalty area for the visitors.
Once again, the tackle by Gogic in the middle of that. Saw the danger, comes out. You've got 3 centre-backs, so one can take a chance and try and win the ball back in a dangerous area. Gogic once again did that, and I was super impressed by him today. I mean, there have been a number of good performances in that St Mirren team, but once again, Gogic is the pick of the bunch in black for me today.
So we've hit the 10-minute mark in this second half. We spoke about how long Brendan Rodgers gives it. No substitutes ready to come on for Celtic just yet. Trio of them warming up behind the goal, down towards our left-hand side. Celtic in the green and white hoops from right to left in this second half. St Mirren all in black, with the pink names and numbers on the back of their shirt from left to right now as they clip the ball up in towards the penalty area, looking for the runner Killian Phillips. It was well over him, charged down by Declan John, off him last. Celtic goal kick. Kasper Schmeichel wasting no time, gets one of the spare balls from either side of the post behind his goal, away to our right hand side, and starts play off. Not that Celtic have then gone forward with any further urgency. They are walking their way up towards the halfway line on this near side left. Hatate back to Kieran Tierney. It's Scales, and Scales uses his centre back partner in Carter Vickers out towards the right hand touchline now. The run made by Yang. headed by Declan John. One into the other for him, and it's out for a Celtic throw midway inside the St Mirren half on that far side.
I think Brendan Rodgers has had a word with Yang. He looked a little bit more positive this second half. He's not had a great effect on it, one good cross ball, but he's looking a little bit more lively.
Tate with space to move forward, down the middle, low shot, takes a deflection and loose off the crossbar, and then wide and off Shamal George. A freak moment. Tate's shot took a deflection, looped off the goalkeeper who was fractionally off his line onto the crossbar, then hit Shamal George and bounced wide of the left-hand post. A lucky escape for St Mirren.
Well, you say a strange moment, but a strange moment. So there was two of them there, wasn't it, with a deflection? First of all, keeper had no idea where it is. Could easily have gone in the net, didn't.
Corner comes in, headed away at the near post. And Celtic will be on the retreat towards the halfway line. Somehow still 0-0, 58 minutes played. And the opening weekend of the Scottish Premiership as the 2025-2026 season starts on BBC Radio 5 Live, just a week after the end of the 2024-25 campaign, and England's winning the Euros. Next weekend, commentary on the Community Shield, Crystal Palace, the FA Cup winners against Liverpool, the Premier League winners from 3 o'clock. Highlights of the opening weekend of the Scottish Premiership. Our sports scene on BBC Scotland from just after 7 o'clock tonight. Celtic do make that first change, and it is the change that Pat Nevin predicted, the oracle of Scottish football, as James Forrest replaces Yang.
Sometimes you can feel a wee bit smug, other times you think it is so obvious. That's exactly what needed to happen there. Yang looks absolutely bereft of confidence for most of the first half, a little bit better at the start of the second half. But Forrest, I mean, what an incredible servant he's been at Celtic Football Club, scoring year after year after year after year, and he will certainly prove a dangerous player down that right hand side. I wonder if at some point in the next 10 or 15 minutes, don't want to try with the oracle too many times, but Kenny is substitute for Ida if he doesn't score, because eventually you keep on putting the balls in there, you've got to try another striker.
If you get that right, I'll have the lottery numbers as well, please, Pat. 0-0 on 5 Live Sports, Celtic against St Mirren. Forrest on for his 525th Celtic appearance since his debut in May 2010. Celtic play it up, the left boot out towards the right hand side of the field, curls away from the St Mirren goal, but they'll soon attack it quickly enough here. Laid into the midfield for the captain Callum McGregor, another one of those long stays in the Celtic team. Tate to the left of the D, tries to send it through on goal. It deflects away, and it will be a Celtic throw on the near left-hand side. Gavin Wallace, my producer this afternoon, has just written on a piece of paper, the odds have been slashed on Pat Nevin to be the next Celtic manager.
I think possibly not.
Watching from our vantage point behind the dugouts here at Celtic Park, this main single-tiered stand that stretches on a slight angle deep back away from the pitch. The rest of this famous ground, 2 tiers sweeping round the pillars, holding up the roof from the second tier on the far side. A little bit of history, plenty of history inside Celtic Park that is remembered to people that helped shape their history into now sadly past Lisbon Lions, and the 1967 Cup winner at this game today passed away in the summer, John Clark and John Fallon. Celtic's ball from the right hand side deflects, they've got a corner.
They have got a corner, and they just keep on doing the right thing, Celtic. I mean, generally they do that, and they wear teams down, and the chances keep on coming. They've hit the post a couple of times, just at the end and the start of the second half and the end of the first half as well. So keep going, and it should happen. That's what they think, it should happen.
Corner taken short and played into the box, headed away at the first time of asking from St Mirren. Tate then right-footed, kills that one towards the rear of the penalty area, clipped up by Declan John, a wild slice at that. It goes behind for another Celtic corner on that far side, the right, gives them another opportunity. This one looks like it's destined to go into the penalty area as Celtic look for that opening goal. We're past the hour mark, 61 minutes played, 0-0 as it stands. St Mirren resistant for now. In goes that corner, in swinging delivery, punch away from Shamal George. It'll drop to Tate on the edge of the penalty. It's a low ball in from him, he didn't go for goal. St Mirren can't clear it away. Huge appeals of handball, waved away from the referee for now. VAR of course can check that if necessary. Celtic have the ball inside the centre circle. It was a wild clearance and shots trying to be fired in from Celtic. Itate, left-footed, clips the cross in. That will be Shamal George's all day long. He dives on his knees, clutching the ball to his chest, and the danger averted for now. We'll just wait for a little pause to see if any further incident from that VAR. Not to be. They're happy that there was no further damage. No need to look again at the possible handball inside the St Mirren penalty area.
I think there was a handball. It was lashed. A clearance was lashed straight onto his hand, which was pretty low down anyway. So yeah, I think there was a handball. Should it have been a penalty? I think not.
No time to react. 0-0 the score. Still then, on a opening weekend that has seen Hibs go top for now. Falkirk on the return to the Premiership earlier, drew 2-2 with Dundee United. Rangers drop points away at Motherwell yesterday. Celtic with Ida, left-hand corner of the penalty area. Needs people to start arriving in the penalty area as he tries to pull the ball back. No one was there. St Mirren are able to clear again.
Yeah, good movement by Ida. The problem is, again, it's that back three. One defender will go out with him. This time it was Gogic. And if he gets the ball in, there's still two in the middle waiting. So this back three so far has worked splendidly defensively for St Mirren.
They try themselves to release a Younger down the middle, slightly to the right-hand side, unsuccessfully so. It was cut off by Scales. Itate uses Nygren out towards the right corner of the penalty area here for Johnson on the overlap. It's a low ball in, too close to Shamal George at the near post. And he's taken a knock for his troubles in doing so. And it's going to be a free kick to St Mirren anyway. Referee stopped play whilst...
Try to see if there was a yellow card thrown at Ida there. I seem to think there was. I mean, he's tried to go to the near post, hasn't got it. It's come off the goalkeeper a little bit. I think it's Ida's trying to poke his foot forward there. Caught the goalkeeper, not for the first time today. And we were having a discussion at half-time, weren't we?
Psychic Pat's back again.
I know. And I said the phrase, if you can keep Kieran Tierney fit, he is an amazing, amazing player. And he's already limping. And I wouldn't be surprised if he has to come off.
Yeah, we did wonder whether he gets to the hour mark and is replaced anyway just to protect him, but now he is. Just got a little concern here. Physios has treated him. He's walking off unaided. Slowly though, and it is the end of Kieran Tierney's second debut for Celtic. Re-signing on a free from Arsenal in the summer. Aaron Trusty is going to be the man trusted to replace him. Kieran Tierney's debut, a successful one up until that point, Pat Nevin.
You know, I've been brilliant in the first half, absolutely brilliant. There's never a question about Kieran Tierney's ability. There never has been. He is a world-class player, and I really do say world-class player, and I don't think Robertson's a better player than him. You know, there are two world-class players in that position that Scotland have got, but Robertson's always available, and always has been available, and that's just been the difficulty for Kieran Tierney for a large part of his career, particularly time down at Arsenal, and let's hope it's nothing particularly serious.
So one former Arsenal man replaces another. Trusty on for Tierney. Trusty also has had time at Birmingham City and Sheffield United.
I mean, he's physically strong as well, so that's another player that you've got there that's going to come up for corner kicks. A real bit of power that you've got. So Trusty's he's basically a big centre half. Scales, who's playing at left back now, is a big centre half. We know Carter Vickers is as well. So that's something from set pieces that's going to be difficult for St Mirren.
Scored against St Mirren last January, Aaron Trusty, in the 3-0 home win. Let's go to the Oval, shall we, where bad light and rain has stopped play. Any sign that England are going to get back underway, Ellie Oldroyd?
Well, if there is still rain out there, Mark, it's very light indeed, but the covers are fully on and they got a real soaking, because after the bad light, the rain came tipping down. And if they are going to complete this game tonight, and they could do, because they could play till 7:30, but they'd need to be on the field at 6:42. And Ebony, what do you think it's looking like? They're going to have time to clear this up?
Yeah, well, there's definitely a peak in the sky, which is making it look a little bit lighter overhead. Also, the Oval does drain well. A lot of the grounds have been set up for this, so they could run a rope around it. I think it might take them 30 minutes to get this game clear. So that gets us very tight to that 6:40 window. So it's possible, but we need the weather to clear very, very quickly.
Yeah, we could be back tomorrow, just at the point that the drama was becoming unbearable. We might all go and have to have nightmares. 339 for 6, so just 35 needed for England to win this.
Ellie, thank you. St Mirren corner punched away by Kasper Schmeichel. It runs out towards this near right-hand side where Phillips can swing it back into the Celtic penalty area. It's headed away out towards the left now. Here's King. Low ball towards Declan John, who just couldn't ever quite get the ball under control under a little bit of pressure, and so Celtic can now race up the other end on the counter-attack. St Mirren trying to flood back and get their numbers to stop this wave that Celtic are dragging forward here. The reverse pass is poor. It's not fully dealt with. And then McGregor! Lift off at Celtic Park. Their captain, Callum McGregor, runs over to the fans in the corner on the far side. It's taken them the best part of 70 minutes to find the opening goal, but the champions are underway with a low shot into the bottom right-hand corner, and it's Celtic 1, St Mirren 0.
How many times has Captain Marvellous, Captain Fantastic McGregor came up with the goods when Celtic have tried everything else? And it didn't look as if it was beginning to feel a real tension around Celtic Park there. It was beginning to go a little bit quiet, apart from the far corner over there. And then it's one mistake, and I think it's Matt O'Hara, isn't it? He should have cleared it. He just needs to clear his line. He's got the time to do it. He tries to play the pass back, but McGregor's right down his throat. It's still a tough skill. The ball's in the air. He has to take it early. He has to take it high. He has to go over the top of it. He does all that, and he puts it in the corner. Celtic are 1-up, and O'Hara, team captain, he can't believe it.
It was a fortuitous couple of deflections between O'Hara and McGregor. VAR is going to check this, whether one of those deflections, particularly from McGregor, was a handball.
I thought it was O'Hara's handball. Well,
VAR is going to check this, and maybe Celtic will have to wait. The referee has said the goal has been ruled out, and it won't count.
Well, we haven't got an ability to see this here, so it's a real shame that, because there's plenty of big screens up there. They could put it on and let it see it, but we can't see it there. But you trust the VAR. VAR's there for a reason. It's there to tell you something, or show you something that we didn't spot. So trust them, they've got it. It's a handball. They've used at least 3 of their lives so far, St Mirren. Twice off the post, and now a goal that nobody could really see much wrong with, but they've spotted it, and it's still 0-0.
I'm told it's off the elbow at some point within that ricocheting around between Mark O'Hara and Callum McGregor. So the joy short-lived for Celtic, who've got to go again to find a way past St Mirren now. 70 minutes played, 0-0, and Callum McGregor's half volley, low, left-footed into the bottom right-hand corner, is ruled out by the video assistant referee. And just another dramatic twist in this afternoon of Five Live Sport, packed full of twists and turns. As Celtic start to come again. We'll be to the golf in a moment. Here's Scales as Celtic, left-hand corner of the penalty area with Maeda. Lays it back to Scales. A little bit more patience in Celtic. McGregor sweeps across that ball towards the far side, but it's behind one man. Needs the recovery work of another to pick it up, and now Ida, Shamal George thought about coming for it, changes his mind, goes back towards his goal as Celtic cross it in from the right hand side, headed out of the 18-yard box, shoulder goes in from Mandron. Celtic fans aren't happy with that, they're up off their seats, but play continues. Referee says nothing wrong with the shoulder charge of Mandron to restrict Celtic for now.
Yeah, and something had to happen to lift the Celtic fans. As I say, going a little bit quiet there. Can't afford that to happen if you're Celtic. You need to use this huge stadium and this huge crowd to put as much pressure on the opposition, and also to lift your own players. Having said that, Forrest has made a big difference.
Here's Scales, left-footed, curling ball in towards Ida, takes it down on his chest and then smacks it. Goal bound, but Shamal George flung himself at the ball and it runs away back into the Celtic half. The home side turning the screw, but Shamal George is holding St Mirren 0-0 for now.
Do you know what? That is point blank. He's come out, and I shouldn't possibly say it because it'll offend some people, but he done a Schmeichel. Come out there, threw his whole body there, and it just got off his hand. He was very, very strong. I think St Mirren fans are having their first good look at Shamal George, and I think they'll be impressed.
Most certainly will. That was from barely an angle, barely a distance on the goal line. He fired that, Adam Eder, with everything he had, and Shamal George just threw himself at it. And say goalkeepers are a crazy breed, and maybe that's why I won't want to be in the way of that. Shamal George has saved his side from going behind again in this game. Score at 0-0. I have seen a replay of the handball from Callum McGregor. It's as the ball drops in his favour, it clips his left elbow on the turn, but there's no doubt that helps set him up for the goal. So that's why the goal was ruled out, as Celtic come forward. Will be to the cricket in a second, and the golf too. Celtic increasing the tempo as it's played out towards the left-hand side now with Scales. Scales nudges it on through for Maeda, across goal past Maeda. It runs to the right-hand side of the penalty area. The touch is poor. Behind it goes for a goal kick. We're off to the Oval. What's the latest, Ellie Oldroyd?
Well, just at the point where we thought it was clearing up, the umpires have decided that no more play is possible today. Covers are still on, even though it's brightening up a little bit. 339 for 6 England at close of play. So that means that they will come back out tomorrow morning with India needing 4 wickets to win the Test match and draw the series, and England needing another 35 runs. We'll be back in the morning.
Ellie, thank you. You can watch today at the Test on BBC 2 from 7 o'clock tonight, and watch England close in on that target of 374, setting themselves up for tomorrow. What's the latest in the golf and Charlie Hull, Catherine Downs?
Bad news for Charlie Hull. Back-to-back birdies on the bogeys, I should say, on the 16th and the 17th, just pushing to try and post a number for the leader Miyu Yamashita to chase down. She's dropped shots on her last 2 holes. She's now tackling the par 5 18th, long par 5, a good birdie or eagle chance here, so she could bounce back, but currently 3 shots behind Yamashita, the leader, 3 shots ahead with 3 holes to play.
Catherine, thank you. Keep up to date with that on the BBC Sport website and app. Here comes Celtic into the penalty area, but not with the angle they would want at this point. So it's laid back out of Scales in between box and touchline on the left-hand side. The home side Celtic from right to left in this second half. Tate takes a touch, drags the ball centrally. Thought about an opening for a shot, instead tried to lay it into the path of Adam Eder. And there's just too many black shirts of St Mirren in the way. Changes are coming for both sides in a moment, as St Mirren look to hold on to this goalless draw that they have against Celtic for now. Only once before these two met on the opening day, and Celtic won that through a penalty, as Maeda sweeps it in from the left-hand side with a little bit of pace. Gogic was in the way, gets the touch ahead of Eder, and it goes behind for a corner on this near side. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, they're building up, and this is what tends to happen. It's getting tight now, as you say, only about 15 minutes to go, but there will be more chances, and most of them will almost certainly be for Celtic. This could be one of them for this corner kick here.
Triple change coming for St Mirren in a moment, as Nygren, left-footed out-swinging delivery, sends the corner in, headed away on the edge of the 6-yard box, cleared away once more. An extra touch, an important one from Declan John, means Celtic have to reset from the centre circle. St Mirren keep their line just away from the edge of their 18-yard box. 0-0, Scottish Premiership opening weekend on 5 Live Sport. Rangers dropped points yesterday in a 1-1 draw with Motherwell. Hibs won today. Falkirk drew with Dundee United earlier. Kilmarnock against Livingston Goddard officially started yesterday afternoon. Celtic on the right corner of the box, can't do anything with it. Now it's asked of St Mirren to take the ball forward, which a battling Gogic is trying to do. Never had full control of the ball. Celtic have it in the right back position, midway inside their own half, but they quickly get it into St Mirren territory. Down the right-hand side, low ball in looking for Eder. He had advanced further deeper into the box, so the ball towards the near post was easily cleared away. Overlapping run comes in, it's clipped up, it takes a deflection and goes out for a corner on the far side. 0-0.
Well, every time the ball goes out, you expect them to make these 6 substitutions down there. But of course, it's corner kick. Nobody wants to make a substitution at a corner kick, so that's twice in a row. All those players down there, a whole gang of them down there, desperate to come on and can't get on.
Yeah, McCowan, Engels and Kenny all ready to come on for Celtic. Smythe and Mooney down there for St Mirren too, plus Sobowale. Corner, far side to right for Celtic then, still trying to break the deadlock, headed away by Mandron, the striker, doing the defensive work for St Mirren at the near post inside the 6-yard box. Ball played back into the Celtic half as they try and find a new angle, try and drag St Mirren out of their defensive setup at the moment, where they have been for most of the game so far. And upon the goal ruled out for VAR for handball from Callum McGregor, have survived. 0-0. Hetate to Scales, takes a little dart towards his left-hand side, out towards this near touchline. St Mirren try and keep it in play, they can't. The flag goes up, now it has to be the time for substitutions to come in. A triple change for both. So for Celtic, Adam Ida's afternoon is over, as is Benjamin Nygren, his debut complete then for Celtic towards the 80-minute mark. And also off Rio Hetate, as in their place comes Luke McCowan, Arnie Engels and Johnny Kenny.
Yeah, they had to make some changes there, Celtic. They haven't looked as good in the second half as they did in the first half. So, yeah, changes been made. But then changes are also been made because the St Mirren players are a lot of them running on empty just now out there. So a lot bit of help, probably up front as much as anything else. That's what they need, because defensively they have been generally rock solid. There have been half chances there. The ball's been put in the middle, but they put their bodies on the line time and time again, and they've managed to get away with it so far, St Mirren. So,
a small gathering of St Mirren fans down in the bottom right-hand corner from where we're sat. Some corrugated metal means our view of them is slightly obscured, but they did have their hands raised in the air. A standing ovation for Mandron as he departs, for Adowu as he goes as well, and Jayden Richardson after his debut. Sobowale, Smythe and Mooney come on, and St Mirren now have little over 11 minutes to survive here and get a credible 0-0 and a credible point against Celtic on the opening day. Ball over the top, fresh legs as well here for Evan Mooney. The ball is running away towards the right-hand side. He's 2 yards from the byline, needs support. That comes from Sobowale. Little bit of defending for Scales to do. Sobowale with the pull back, and the shot blocked inside the 6-yard box. Oisin Smith Smythe the shot, and Celtic had a crucial body in the way. Otherwise that would have been a massive upset, because Kasper Schmeichel would have been panicking.
You know, Smythe gets himself in the right position there, good energy, just come on. But how tough is it to get that chance with your first kick of the ball? He keeps it low, he keeps on target, but it's straight down the throat of Kasper Schmeichel there. But it is livened the game up a little bit. I'm not saying it can go either way. Celtic are still favourites, but this is getting tense.
All three substitutes for St Mirren in one move combined there. Mooney picked it up, he laid it back towards Sobowale, and then he placed a perfect pull back for Oisin Smythe to try and test Kasper Schmeichel. Low ball in, and Celtic can't find a way through once again. The defensive outstretched leg of Marcus Fraser as St Mirren saves the visitors once more, driven in low, and at the near post Fraser was there to see it behind for a corner.
You know, there's a part of you that says, look, Celtic have got to have a centre forward that will stick one of those in the net. There's another part of you that said those three centre backs have been absolutely fantastic with the last gasp tackles right when the ball's just about to be tapped in.
Corner from the far side, gets no height on it. It's cleared away before it even hits the 6-yard box of St Mirren's penalty area. Still 0-0 on 5 Live Sport this afternoon from Celtic Park. St Mirren 10 minutes away from a famous result. They nearly came close to bettering what would be a decent point. They've only ever won once here at Celtic Park since the turn of the century. Crossing from the right-hand side, the header from Gogic's paw. It needs support that comes in the end from Killian Phillips. The header down comes to Scales, left of the D for Celtic here. Away to our left-hand side. Scales up against Sobowale. Lays it infield. It's turned back out to the touchline though from McGregor. Here is Scales. Lays it down the line. Corner towards the corner flag from Luke McCowan. Ayunga can clip it up towards the halfway line. Mopped up by Trusty. Back towards his goalkeeper, Kasper Schmeichel. Away to our right-hand side in his musty yellow outfit. A rub of the hands from Shamal George. Those palms have been used a couple of times in this game. At the other end of the field, as a St Mirren goalkeeper, he might have more work to do here, because Celtic edge of the penalty area have it. Little turn from McCowan, lays it to the right of the box. It's a cross that's too deep. Takes a deflection and goes behind for yet another Celtic corner on the far side.
You know, the high fives that'll be between those St Mirren centre backs and the wing backs as well. It's all hands to the pump there. They're tackling, but it's now they're on their own 6-yard line most of the time. It's desperation stakes, and it's, well, those 8 minutes plus injury time is going to feel like a long time.
Corner goes in, out-swinging delivery. Oh, it's not dealt with. Sobowale tries to swing a foot in it to clear it. I think appeals from some Celtic fans behind that goal of a handball that was weak in its claims, and certainly would have been from close range anyway. Early cross in, high towards Maeda, who heads it back down across the 6-yard box. Away it goes from St Mirren once again, who themselves want to try and get on the counter-attack, but Ayunga, lazy, left-footed, sweeping pass out to the far side, too far away from Smythe. Celtic have a throw.
Got to be better than that technically. If you get the ball, you've got it in position, you're not under any pressure at all. You've got to be able to take it into the corner. That is a lazy pass, as you say.
Maeda can't feed. Fellow player on the inside left of the penalty area. It's cleared away by St Mirren. Brendan Rodgers' touch is terrible.
Well, he'll say it's great because it's landed right scales there.
I am not believing he meant that for a second, Brendan Rodgers. He wanted the neat control tight to his left boot, but instead it flew off one of those polished black shoes of his to match his grey suit, and did land in the path of Liam Scales, who's got another throw in here that he throws back into his own half for Aaron Trusty. Celtic will build from the back. There are 7 minutes left on 5 Live Sport, where Lando Norris has won the Hungarian Grand Prix this afternoon to close the gap to Oscar Piastri to 9 points. Charlie Hull looks like she's lost slip of closing in on Yamashita in the Women's Open. Crossing from the right, deflects behind for Celtic. Once again, it's copy and paste. It's another corner on the far side. The cricket, the drama there has been postponed until tomorrow. Rain has stopped play. They couldn't get re-going in time, so they'll come back tomorrow, where England have just under 40 runs to chase down that target of 374 they were set by India. Short corner from Celtic. They play the 1-2. It's another blocking at the near post. But the offside has been given on that tight and tricky play from the corner. The short corner from Celtic gives St Mirren a breather, and I can imagine they'll be in zero rush to get this up the field quickly.
Actually, that's a really weird, poor corner to take there. You've put the St Mirren under massive pressure. They are wilting, but they're just about holding on. You take a short corner and walk straight into an offside position. And that is a dream scenario for St Mirren there. You get everybody up, they can relax a little bit, knowing that the next onslaught's another, 20 seconds, 30 seconds away?
St Mirren, who've finished in the top 6 of the last 3 seasons in the Scottish Premiership, the only side outside is Celtic and Rangers to do so. It's decision making for St Mirren that's letting them down at the minute, because there was an option to go to the right hand side of Killian Phillips, and Evan Mooney just played a terrible ball that went nowhere near Phillips and just passed it effectively to Kasper Schmeichel.
And that's twice in a row when they've been on the attack, on the break. The worst thing you do is go at the corner and kill a little bit of time. You don't give the ball away.
Celtic down the right hand side. Johnston, low ball in. Can't find his man, but it rebounds to the edge of the 18-yard box. Here is Scales. Little short layoff, looking for Maeda, who will try and drag the ball back behind himself. Was he caught there? Referee didn't even blink at that challenge that came in, and the appeals from the Celtic fans. The penalty won't happen for now. Celtic have a throw in on the halfway line near side the left, which they take quickly to get going again. Carter Vickers to McGregor, out towards the far right hand side once more. They've enjoyed that far side of the field a lot in this game, Celtic. They did a lot of it in the first half, which would have been then their left. Now it's their right. This is Scales. The swept back blonde hair McGregor, who thought he'd have scored this afternoon before VAR ruled his goal out. Johnston out towards the right hand side. He'll now go on the overlapping run. Maybe they don't need it. Laid in towards McCowan inside the D. Celtic come again. Sliding challenge from Trusty. Wins the ball back. Scales lifts it up towards the back post. Heads collide, and then a shot fired in over the bar from the penalty spot effectively. And it's no danger at all to Shamal George's goal. And it will be a goal kick to St Mirren, 0-0, 4 minutes to go. Pat Nevin.
To be fair, it wasn't an easy chance. He had to take on the ball. It's on his left foot there. He's had an almighty lash at it, but just couldn't keep it down, just couldn't keep it on target. And there's another I would say more than half chance. I call that a three-quarter chance there. You've got to try and get it on target, but once again, St Mirren, will they breathe, but do they believe?
Couldn't keep his shot down. Schmeichel left-footed away, not the most convincing of clearances from the Danish goalkeeper of Celtic. Not the most convincing of touches either, though, from Moisen Smythe. And now Celtic have it again on that right-hand side with Johnston. He'll continue his run once he's passed the ball to provide that overlapping option. St Mirren have all but two behind the ball for now, giving themselves that option of the counter-attack if they want to use it. Moved out to the left-hand side. Here's Maeda. He bailed him out a lot last season. Can he do it again? Squares his pass and the shot deflects it in. Celtic at last. With 3 minutes to go, the shot squeezes into the bottom right-hand corner. And the champions may just have won it in the final few minutes. It was messy. It wasn't clean, but nobody in green and white cares. Celebrations and hugs from all the players on the far side, and it's Celtic 1, St Mirren 0.
Now there is definitely a deflection as it goes through there. That looked like the only thing that was going to beat the goalkeeper tonight, but the pressure is kept on going, and Brendan Rodgers' substitution has worked again.
Luke McCowan does it for Celtic.
Big deflection, I'm just seeing it again. Big deflection. I think the keeper might have got to, had it not got that. But you mean, Celtic have worked for that. I said just about 10-15 minutes ago, it might be a deflection, it might be a fluke, it might be something, a mistake. But you keep on working for it, you keep on asking the questions. Celtic did that. Brendan Rodgers will no doubt say, I was never worried.
Luke McCowan off the bench to save Celtic on their season opener here at Celtic Park. Offside against Celtic, going to go in search of a second. Now can St Mirren get on the charge, even so late in the game. Maeda's still got a bundle of pace to prevent the run of Sobowale down the right hand side. St Mirren retreating to their own territory. Latest from the Women's Open, Cat Downs.
It is a 3 under par, 69 to finish for Charlie Hull. She posts the clubhouse lead at 9 under par, but that means that Miyu Yamashita, despite a drop shot at 17, will have a 2-shot lead over Charlie Hull as she heads down the last. It looks like the Japanese player is going to pick up her first LPGA title, and it's going to be a big one.
Kat, thank you very much. Still follow that on the BBC Sport website and at Luke McCowan has gone into the book here, and he's given away a free kick midway inside the Celtic half. Late challenge, gives the foul, gives St Mirren maybe a little bit of hope. Shamal George away to our left-hand side, hands on hips, nothing he could do about that deflected McCowan shot into the bottom right-hand corner, which at the minute stands to give Celtic all 3 points. 30 seconds left of normal time. Celtic 1, St Mirren 0. In goes the free kick, looking for Richard King. Celtic headed away, but it'll come back at them maybe, or not. Some solid work there needed from Arne Engels. St Mirren will have a throw-in though, level with the corner of the penalty area. Phillips didn't like the first ball he grabbed hold of. He grabs one off the white cones that stand up pitch side. Phillips backs away, gives himself a 5-yard run up, then swings the ball looping in the air towards the penalty area. St Mirren can't return the ball into the box. It's dragged upfield by Luke McCowan out towards his left-hand side, cut off by Smythe, and Celtic have a throw-in on this near side, 5 yards or so inside the St Mirren half. 5 minutes of added time.
Yeah, and it gives St Mirren a little bit of chance to change it. They bring another substitute on. I know obviously that'll be a more forward attack-minded player. They've been playing with their usual 3 at the back. Sure, they'll take one of the centre backs up. In fact, indeed, that is exactly what they're going to do. King's going to come off, and they might as well have a little bit of a go to these last 5 minutes or so. But McCowan's come on, he's actually had a really good effect in this game himself, hasn't he? Apart from scoring a goal there, he took the ball out of it in a dangerous position for Celtic there, win them possession and kill the game a little bit there. Just do the sensible things. He's a player who wants to start every game. He doesn't want to be on the bench.
Malik Dijksteel, the man who's come on for St Mirren, who now have 4 minutes of the additional 5 that were shown to try and get themselves level in this game, where they've faced a barrage of Celtic attack throughout the 90 minutes really. came out of the traps quickly for 5 minutes or so, but then retreated into a defensive pattern. Sobowale's lifted that down the left-hand side. Mooney will go chasing, comfortably dealt with by Trusty, and then Mooney a little too harsh with his elbow in the back of Liam Scales. Celtic free kick in the left-back position.
Again, a very silly free kick to give away there. I mean, just a bit excitable. They've lost possession, but give a free kick away. You've only got minutes left. This is going to eat up another 30 seconds. Kasper Schmeichel spent time tidying up, getting his goal line cleared, throwing one of those black bags off. It's another 10-20 seconds. The bags come back on again. They'll clear it. He knows what he's doing.
For a man so good with his distribution, he let himself down there trying to remove the black plastic bag off the pitch. It just flew back with the wind back off the pitch. Big smile on the face of the day. 1-0 Celtic. They have won it late if they are indeed to hold on to all 3 points and start the defence of their title with a win. On the opening weekend, they had the trophy on display from last season at the start of the game as the flag was raised on the edge of the centre circle, which signals the start of a new season in Scottish football, a tradition that was predominant up until the Second World War. Celtic carried it on. They've won so many titles that it does seem to become a regular feature. They're going for 4 in a row, Celtic. Did the double last season. They'll want to go one better. Their manager, Brendan Rodgers, in his grey suit, takes a fresh bit of gum and prepares to watch his side defend this St Mirren free kick from inside the St Mirren half. It is drifted up by Shamal George into the penalty area. Where's the second ball going as it's headed down? It runs out towards the far left-hand touchline. Declan John clips it in first time of asking, taken on the chest of Mark O'Hara, the captain. And still Celtic can't get rid of it. Fraser. Now Smythe. But his pass out towards the left-hand side is poor, and Maeda might be through down the middle. He looks onside. Maeda's one-on-one with Shamal George, recovering defensive work from Sobowale. Does enough. He slides in. He gives away the corner, but he prevented the second goal.
Well, the pace was absolutely brilliant there in the break there from Maeda. You've got to say all the way through this, some of the defending by St Mirren has been fabulous, and it's been various different players. That is a goal-saving challenge, a brilliant goal-saving challenge. But it's not going to be enough for St Mirren, is it? Absolutely not. They've given a little bit more in the last few minutes, but not enough.
Into the final minute, Celtic 1, St Mirren 0. And Celtic go short from the corner. They hold it up by the corner flag. They're now protecting a 1-0 lead. They move away from the corner down the far side touchline. That's their right. The final stages of this second half on 5 Live Sport, where Luke McCowan's goal is the difference. They'll have to be sharper as the season goes on and the competitions roll in for Celtic. They've still got to qualify for the Champions League, but a winning start will give them confidence heading into the brand new season. Lovely bit of play, opens up for Scales, and then it's chested back by Smythe to his own goalkeeper, Shamal George, on his goal line. He puts a big right boot through it, launches it up long towards Mooney. The header back from Scales is one that will run on through to Kasper Schmeichel, who will take a few touches, hold the play up. The ball runs towards the byline. He gathers as Mooney applies a little bit of pressure. The 5 minutes are up. You would imagine Schmeichel will let go of this ball and the referee will blow his whistle, or maybe not. Launched forward by Schmeichel, headed back towards the centre circle from Gogic. Back towards Shamal George it goes, side-footed, right-footed, over the halfway line. It'll run through everybody. And Kasper Schmeichel points to his wrist and says to the referee, that's got to be time, surely. The chase down comes from Malik Dijksteel, and there goes the full-time whistle. Kasper Schmeichel boots the ball into the Celtic ultras away in that far corner. Celtic start the defence of their Scottish Premiership with a 1-0 win. It wasn't necessarily comfortable, although they were in control throughout, but as time ran on, you just wondered whether St Mirren could hold on. In the end, a deflected shot from substitute Luke McCowan into the bottom right-hand corner, and the champions start with a 1-0 win.
Do you know, you look at the game, at the end of it, Celtic had a multitude of good possessions, the total domination of the play and the chances and the half chances and getting to the byline. However, there are questions. big questions. And I think this has actually helped Brendan Rodgers today. He will have to go to the board and say, I need a striker. I need somebody who can put it away. They've never replaced Kyogo. They've also got Joshua out injured just now. He is their most creative player. You asked me right at the start, are Celtic as good as they were last season? I'm not convinced they are. I think they need to add something else, and they better do it very, very quickly. But they were the better team. However, St Mirren, they can be proud of themselves as well. They worked so hard, they defended brilliantly, and Gogic, arguably the best player in the field. But it's 1-0, it's the right result, but it's not comfortable.
Slow start to the season maybe for Celtic, shaking off a little bit of rust perhaps, but they're off the mark with a win against a side under Stephen Robinson in St Mirren that are difficult to break down. They're well organised. It took till the 87th minute to find a way through. It came from Luke McCowan. Celtic start their season with a 1-0 win to take all 3 points. We'll head to the Oval where it's been a slightly relaxed end to the day for Ellie Oldroyd. England will have to wait till tomorrow if the tomorrow